Hello, everybody. In this video, we're going to be looking at why replacing Joe Biden was the right choice in hindsight. Because we do have a lot of data points that suggest that Biden would have lost in a pretty big way to Trump if he were the candidate at the end of the day. We had a recent YouGov poll that said a hypothetical that if Biden was the nominee, who would you have voted for? And it would have had Trump winning the popular vote by 7%. That would be a wipeout in the Electoral College. And overall, it currently looks like Trump's only going to win the popular vote by 1.8%. And that actually suggests that Harris could have won the Electoral College without even winning the popular vote because she only lost Pennsylvania by about 1.8, 1.9%. So she could have just had a tie in the popular and win the Electoral College just through the Rust Belt, which is actually kind of interesting. But going forward with the Biden down by 7% point, we also I also heard this from Pod Save America that said that an internal polling memo said that Biden would have lost over 400 electoral votes to Donald Trump. I think post debate or even in July, and that's a big reason why Biden dropped out of the race because he was down by that much. Now that shocked me a good amount to hear that he was down by 400 because here's what I was thinking. I was thinking if Biden was the nominee, he would probably have lost Minnesota, Nebraska second, Virginia, even New Jersey, New Hampshire. And I think that was about it. I think he would have lost those states. And this is what I think the map would have been 354 electoral votes for Donald Trump, 184 for Joe Biden. But as the YouGov poll suggests, if Biden was actually down by 7, it would have been way worse than this. And that internal polling memo saying Biden was down by over 400 electoral votes. They have no reason to lie on that podcast, by the way. They're Obama speechwriters on that podcast. So, again, they have no reason to lie about a poll showing Biden down by that much. And there was New York House or New Jersey polls done that showed Biden down in July in the state of New Jersey to Donald Trump. So that kind of validates a red New Jersey happening if Biden remained the nominee. But another thing is, another reason I kind of believe that it was possible Biden could have lost by over 400 to Donald Trump is there was New York internal polls that a bunch of New York House reps have saw that caused a bunch of them to come out in favor of calling him to drop out of the race. That polling said that he was down double digits in Lawler's district. He was down by a lot in Molinaro's district. So he's losing these battleground New York House districts by double digits, Joe Biden. And that would have equated to a Trump victory in New York, which is crazy to say. So the reality here is that 400 electoral vote poll may have been correct here, especially with a 7-point Trump victory in the popular vote done by that YouGov pollster. I mean, we weren't talking about 354. It might have just been a sweep here because Harris only won Illinois by 8-9. She only won New Jersey by 5, only won Virginia by 5. I think Joe Biden would have totally done a lot worse. And that internal poll suggests a map that comes out to this 408 electoral votes for Donald Trump to Joe Biden's 130. That rumored poll that they discussed on that podcast. This is what that poll likely was pointing to, that Trump would have got 408 electoral votes, and that would have been brutal for Democrats down ballot. I mean, I'll just show you a look. Here's what the Senate map's probably looking like right now. Now, if this map were to have happened, the Democrats would have lost Michigan. They would have lost Wisconsin. They would have lost Arizona. They would have lost Nevada. They probably would have ended up losing Maryland because it was under 10 after all. Andy Kim probably would have won in New Jersey because on this map, Trump probably would have only won New Jersey by about a lean margin. That would have been enough still for Biden to win, or for Andy Kim to still win his Senate seat there. But any other states that could be in play? Maybe Virginia with Tim Kaine, but I don't know. I think he's a pretty strong incumbent. I think he was fine. I also think the senator from New Mexico probably would have been fine as well. But 58 Republican seats. This is what could have happened if Biden remained as the nominee. It could have been a wipeout for Senate Democrats and House Democrats. They probably would have. The House probably would have gone like 240 something seats or more for the Republicans here. So really, even though Harris did end up losing the Electoral College, it's more of a it's kind of crazy how she almost mounted an insane comeback from a poll that was showing this to this instead, and that would save Democrats 4 Senate seats in the Senate, or 5 Senate seats even, because it's possible that Larry Hogan could have won with a map like this, because Biden's margins probably would have been even weaker in Maryland. So even though Harris lost, the silver lining is it could have been way worse if Biden stayed in, that we could have saw a landslide for Republicans here, and then Trump could get through any agenda he would want, probably a repeal of the Affordable Care Act. He could just get anything he wants done if he had a majority of 58 Senate seats and a House majority of 240 to even 250 with a map like this. It would have been brutal for down ballot Democrats. Biden would have only won how many states? 11 states he would have only won. That would have been a wipeout for the Democratic Party here. And do I believe this map could have actually occurred? I still think Biden would have ended up probably winning New York, probably coming back in Illinois, but we probably could have seen a map like this, because Biden was losing Hispanics and Latino voters in the polls to Donald Trump before he dropped out. So it's very possible the map probably would have amounted to something like this, where Biden wins Illinois and New York and narrowly against Trump. Like, we're talking lean blue margins. I don't think Trump would have won over 400, but that's what the poll was showing here. Because at the end of the day, Democrats probably would have came back to their nominee. They wouldn't just all vote for Trump here. But the fact that this map was showing up in their internal polls, that's the big reason Biden dropped out, because he literally had no path to victory. And Harris is definitely a much stronger candidate to run. She turned a map that was looking like this in the polls to a map like this, where it was a narrow electoral college defeat, where she very well could have won if the results went her way in these 3 Rust Belt states like this. She could have had a narrow victory here. So overall, the internal poll would have been devastating for Biden if it actually came true in the election. It would have been devastating for Senate Democrats and House Democrats as well. And it was totally the right decision to swap in Harris for this race, even though she ended up losing, because Biden probably would have resulted in a map that looks something like this, which would be a stunning electoral landslide for Donald Trump here. Probably would have won the popular vote by a very big margin, more than the 2% margin or 1.8% margin he's looking to win it by in the 2024 election right now. So thank you everyone for watching this video. If you're new to this channel and you enjoy content like this, I would highly recommend subscribing. I would greatly appreciate it. And leave me down video ideas in the comments below. I'm interested to look through that. And let me know what you think the map would have been if Biden stayed as the nominee, because I'm thinking it probably would have been a map like this, Trump with 361 electoral votes. But let me know down in the comments section below. I'm interested in hearing what you think the map would have resulted in if Biden stayed as the nominee. Other than that, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.